know about this one, Ryan. It's just an album, dude.
Nah, dude. I'm a freaking baby butterfly, dude.
Woo!
Hey, ouch! I'm Ryan Sinclair.
And I'm Evan Sinclair.
And today we're going to come to you to talk about the new King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album.
Butterfly 3000.
It's a doozy. It's quite an interesting change up for them.
Yeah, I think getting right into it, for me, when the first song started, I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God. I think part of being a King Giz fan is loving when they tackle new sounds. And right from the get-go, I was just like, oh my God, I love this. I am loving this. And then I found there was a dip in the middle that I felt the songs were a bit too, didn't have enough weight to them, or like I felt things to differentiate them enough from the others to make them as enjoyable to me. But I think it pulled itself back together by the end of it.
You know, it seems like we're on similar pages, because for me, honestly, I feel like the first half and the second half are two different beasts. I feel like the first half is amazing. Like, I didn't love Dreams and Blue Morpho at first, but they really grew on me after multiple listens. And I just feel like you have an amazing first half of the album and then an okay half of the end. The ending half I felt was like decent.
So what you're saying is you prefer to be a caterpillar than a metamorphosized
You know what?
butterfly.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm still a cocoon. But I really think that the first two songs in this album, Yours and Shanghai, are genuinely some of the better songs they've made in a long time. I really love them. I love the atmospheric, reverby synth vibe, very jovial and upbeat thing that they're going for. But I mean, I feel like they kind of lose it towards the end with songs like Black Hot Soup and You Love.
Yours, I think, is the best track on the whole album.
I prefer Shanghai to Yours.
Nah, I don't know. Like, Yours just set this like rich, amazing world of like a new sound for King Giz, and I personally didn't feel that any of the other songs came close to
really
exciting me as much as that one did.
I feel like it was in twos. Like, the first two tracks were great. Tracks 3 and 4 were good. They grew on me. They're really good even. And then tracks 5 and 6 I thought were awesome.
I still feel the middle was the dip for me. I thought that it pulled itself back together by the end of it. So you felt like it had a kind of like upward start.
Like rocky, but definitely good. Like, I think tracks 3 and 4 weren't as good as tracks 1, 2, 5, and 6. I mean, I definitely didn't love Blue Morpho at first, but I've come to appreciate its place in the album as, you know, a little dip away from being just a consistent vibe.
I gotta disagree with that.
Really?
So yeah, I don't know. Blue Morpho still doesn't do it for me, but yeah.
Who knows? I mean, maybe with multiple listens, but I mean, if that's just your opinion, that's fine. I would honestly go as far as to say that like there's a forgettability problem. I cannot recall.
I agree with.
It's hard for me to recall how like the last 4 tracks sound. I in general really think that the overall vibe that they've presented on this album is great. I really, really love the tonal palette. I mean, all of the synth heavy aspect is definitely a new direction for them. I mean, we have songs like Acarine from Fishing for Fishies and stuff like that, which have sort of dipped into the synthy zone. You know, they have Cy Boogie on that record too. But it's really cool to see them just full on dive headfirst into this really lush, psychedelic, synth heavy sound.
It is a very, very pretty sound.
Oh yeah, they nailed it.
Like I can't think of another record that sounds like this record, which I think is a triumph among itself. I just wish that there was a bit more variety amongst this set of songs. Yeah. Like I said, that middle stretch of 3 songs from like Blue Morpho to
it would be Black Hot Soup, right? Or no. 202 Killer Year.
That I think was the other one, because Black Hot Soup I liked.
I feel like the Hot Black Soup was one of those songs where if you asked me to sing it to you off my brain, I probably couldn't. Actually, back to what you were talking about albums that would sound like this. The only thing that I was really coming up with was Morgan Delt. I don't know if
I have
you've
never heard that artist.
It's a guy that our friend Christian showed me a while back, and it's a really good album. Honestly, you should check it out. I think he has 2 albums. Morgan Delt. It definitely has that really like you're surrounded by this lush psychedelia, but it's much more singer-songwritery than this one is. Yeah, I definitely think overall the sound is very, very fresh. I think that I'm super especially after getting 3 microtonal albums. Not to hate on the 3 microtonal albums, but I was kind of done with that at this point. It's great to have a veer into a new direction. They went for this. I mean, they described it as a a sparse major key heavy, very divisive type of album. And I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's going to be as divisive as they thought, because it's just very pleasant for the most part. It's very nice to
you're
hear.
right. That is kind of true. They were I guess they were kind of advertising it as like, this is going to be our most divisive one yet. And you're right. I didn't feel that way at all, but I think we also had the very controversial opinion that Fishing for Fishies was better than Infest the Rat's Nest. So I think that you and I are both looking for those like nicer, prettier Giz sounds than a lot of other people who are like
That's
looking
a good
for those
point.
heavy tracks.
If somebody got into Giz with Infest the Rat's Nest and then they heard this
Yeah.
album, they probably
might be like,
would
"What?"
be a little confused,
Yeah.
perhaps. But I mean, I don't know. Their reputation precedes them. At this point, they could drop any genre of album and I would just be like, oh shit, that's cool. I wouldn't necessarily be upset. Yeah, I think that there are no bad songs on this record. I think that there are no bad songs. It's just that there are some forgettable ones that don't latch on as well and are a little bit more hazy and I guess pulling from tropes we've heard before in a way that maybe you don't want to hear on a record that is so clearly pushing forward their sound.
It does. It really does. It's a great addition to their discography. I wish it was a EP instead.
You know what? That's pretty much how I feel. If you cut the first half, maybe, I mean, I would probably keep Catching Smoke in there. I do really like Catching Smoke, despite feeling like it's a little silly. I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely a little childish feling, but that's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's just when I hear it, I do have
I think in the track by track, he was saying that like a lot of this album was inspired by his kid.
Huh.
So
that's adorable.
That.
Honestly, that is so cute. I love that. But I mean, I definitely think that while I don't dislike the last 4 tracks, if you turned this into a 6-track EP, I would have liked it more, I think.
I think they created a nice palette of sounds. I think where it shined, but there was a good chunk of it that just felt stale after a little bit. And unfortunately for me, the opening track is the best track, which I'm very upset by it. I hate it when that happens because it's like a downward hill, and I was like, ugh.
Peaking early is not a very fun experience.
Yeah,
I don't feel that way. I definitely think when I was thinking about how I was going to score this record, I genuinely was struggling so hard, and I feel like the only way that I can describe how I feel is I would give the first half an 8 and the back half a 6. Average that out to a 7.
Scoring this one is also difficult for me because I was thinking about it a little bit as well, and you're right. Where it peaks, I'm just like, oh, I'm
bliss.
it's just happiness, and then there's the lulls. There's the kind of just plateau, and it just doesn't. You like forget why you were loving that record so much in the beginning, which is really hard for me to say because like I'm sure if like I had heard some of those other songs without hearing the better ones early on, it would have still been exciting, but you got to compare them to the other ones. And I think overall, unfortunately, that weighs it down so much that I think I have to go with a 6 overall.
Oh, shit.
Which is really tough for me to say. And I think maybe on a good day, a 7. It just... because music fluctuates for people. It can depend on the setting and mood, but as of right now, I think I'm gonna sit on the 6th, which is not easy for me to say considering how great and blissful the high marks are. But all right, well, overall, it looks like we both agree that the high points are incredible, and there's a good chunk of plateau moments, and it's a tad front loaded. And that's all there is to it. Giz, if you want to explore this sound again, I would be more than excited for you to, and I hope that you can bring a little bit more to the table with it than some of the songs that were on this one. Yeah. Cool.
Alrighty. Well, hey, thank you for watching, everybody.
Yeah, thank you again. Have a good one.
All right, see you around.
Listen to music.